Good evening, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 5:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. We're here to talk about Theta, but before we get into that, this is not financial advice, it's educational. Click the thumbs up and share the video if you likey the video to your friends and colleagues who are and might be interested in Theta Network. Intraday updates are on that Twitter link below the video. For intraday updates. In the meantime, before we get into Theta, I wanted to run through a couple of things with you. Number one, Theta is another kind of infrastructure. I consider it sort of Web 3.0, but it really helps with the distribution of content. Very similar to YouTube, except you know how YouTube has a data center with people manning it. They kind of sit there and manage the infrastructure to deliver this very video to you. So Theta itself is more of a decentralized network of nodes that actually sit there and whose job is to do nothing but distribute video content or pieces of it, as do the other nodes across the network, across the globe. So effectively, Theta is basically like a Netflix type of environment, like a YouTube type environment, but these guys run the actual streaming capability. Theta does. So anyway, looking at the price right now, we're $5.93, hitting a high in the past of around $13.17. Now we're going to go into my own handmade charts. I know how it sucks watching other people looking at other people's screens. It's not my cup of tea, but it does have the information I need right here, so I'm going to just leverage that. We're almost a $6 billion market cap. It's pretty much fully diluted. So that's what I like to see here. Now let's go over to the Theta site. Now look at this guy. Who is this guy? Steve Chen. Who is he the co-founder of? This very YouTube site that you're on. He was a co-founder back in the heyday in 2005 in the big .com boom. Now thinking about it now, he's also a advisor for one of the other cryptos I cover called the Origin Protocol. Now, this is a little more squarely in his wheelhouse because this is, he comes from the video streaming world as obviously co-founding YouTube. So he's one of the big advisors for Theta. Now, if you look at Theta, they have multiple partners where they are, a lot of this is based off of the Theta Network, which is very, very interesting. If you go over to their site over here in Network, you'll be able to actually see where all their nodes are across the globe. And obviously they are all over the place. And you can click on it and be able to see exactly where these bad boys are. But there's heaps and heaps and heaps of stuff that you can look through on their site. I'm not going to go through it all because I think a lot of you are probably here to listen to the price action. But again, heaps of investment capital into this thing. Pretty impressive. Now looking over, and obviously these are all of the advisors. So people from various, Twitch and whatnot, and obviously YouTube, even Verizon. Verizon's a big communications company up here in the States. But people from their digital media environment as well. So let's move into Theta in terms of its price action and where I think it could be heading. At least in the near future. We're going to zoom out on the Theta US dollar chart right now. Let's get going. All right, so let me get my auto there. So Theta, since pretty much, we're looking at right around here in the May time frame. This thing is, this green line here is a good positive resistance support line that we've been adhering to for quite some time. In fact, I'm probably going to put on a position when I get off this video, and I'll be tweeting it out. But I think that Theta overall is, it's a content streamer. It's for creators that want to, distribute their content. And I think, and people can see it. You can actually make money by staking a Theta node and sitting there, having it on your machine, sitting idly, making money. So I think this is a great use case for crypto, and I think it's similar to a Web 3.0 type of crypto. And I think that this thing has some staying power. As we all know, video content is a big deal. When Netflix first started, it was like, that thing continues to grow and snowball into growth. So I think overall, Theta is a great technology I think a lot of different providers, content providers, could use the Theta platform to cheaply distribute their content out and not have to deal with the infrastructure and the having to be a slave to the other centralized providers. So I think this is a great one. Now, Theta Bitcoin, on the other hand, which we're going to show you right over here, this also looks pretty compelling. We do have this line of resistance here, which is now turned support. We're literally hitting right there. This would be a nice spot for me to get in. I think this is a good spot to get in right over here. I think 931 is a good line to get into. And I think we could bounce. Not saying that we will. We may actually go down. Like, the lines aren't perfect. Sometimes they go like this, and sometimes they go like that. So, look, I'm not too worried about a 10% move if it does turn out to be that this was more the line to be drawn. But there's only so much wiggle room you can go, right? Lines can be drawn, they can be off, but they can't be too off because then they'll look obviously wrong. So, obviously I couldn't draw that line. That wouldn't work, right? So it's either something like this, where it's more of a horizontal, where we could see a drop down. But again, I'm not going to have to put in, I don't have to put in 100% of what I want to put into Theta right off the bat. No. What I'm planning on doing is putting maybe 10 or 15 or 20% of what I want to put in Theta, and keep 80% on the sideline earmarked for Theta, but not in Theta yet, because I think that we could probably get it at a cheaper price. And that's how I do it with all the other cryptos I invest in. I don't just go straight in head first. I layer into the trade. That's the way to do it. Now, so let's go over to, so I think that this could potentially drop a little more, or we could be looking at something like this. I personally am going to get a piece of it when I get off. And I'll let you know my buy price. I'll tweet it out as well. Now let's go over to Bitcoin US dollar. For those who don't know, who are just coming in because you wanted to hear the beta video. This is a long-term projection that I've had in many of my other videos for all the cryptos I cover, because I think it's important to know what this thing will go to, because Bitcoin does have an impact on everything else in the world, especially altcoins. Yes, altcoins. This line, I think we're going to wind up hitting 80,000 by the end of the year. Very recently, we bounced right off of a couple of patterns in the past that I've said that we would, and we have, and we are back on that green road to 80,000. And I think we hit 80,000 in another 2.5 months. Man, I think we'll probably hit that maybe even at the end of the month. Who knows? Probably by November, I would say, roughly mid-November, we'll probably be close enough. Bitcoin dominance is a pair that I monitor, which will definitely help you figure out whether or not Bitcoin is gaining strength in the market relative to the altcoins. It just means that if the overall crypto market's going up and Bitcoin's going up, it's probably doing better than the other altcoins. So something to look at. Right now, we are at a 47.59 handle. Back in March of this year, we were all the way up to around 60. Now, this pattern going down, coming up, coming back down again, it's like a double bottom, we call it. Almost like a W pattern, right? And if you follow this trend up, it almost looks like by the end of the year, we're going to wind up hitting back to the 60 range on the Bitcoin dominance pair. So that's kind of what you have to look at here. Now, for sure, Theta's got some long-term staying power as far as I can see. I think video, content, and entertainment, all of those things in that line will be around. Now, video doesn't cover every aspect of decentralization, but it does cover a meaningful and large function of what our current day internet provides. And I think in the new version of the internet coming, this puppy right here, Theta, will prove to be the one, I think, that comes out on top as it relates to video content streaming on a decentralized environment. So I'll be posting this video out, and I will be posting out what I'm going to buy this thing at, and I hope I see everyone on the next one. Take it easy.